It's great to be here with you.
Same here, brother.
Thank you, George,
Same
for
here.
jumping on. Together we are stronger. Leadership, straight no chaser,
Yes,
podcast host. Thanks for jumping on here
yes.
with Vital Signs.
Man, glad to be here, man. Appreciate you calling out to me.
Yeah, I want to hear more about what you do, what and everything. I subscribe to your YouTube channel. One thing that caught my attention with it and something that kind of sticks with me and I resonate with is leaders who take ownership, entrepreneurs who execute, men and women
Mm.
who are done consuming and ready to apply. That's deep, and that spoke to me.
What we done and why we created Together We're Stronger, TWRS, it goes back, it was established in 2013 because of my oldest daughter, Aubrey. And my oldest daughter, Aubrey, saw her parents go through a struggle. Um, I was in business, lost several millions of dollars, and it changed everything about what we were doing. I was very humble, but also, I had a little cockiness behind it. And I truly believe that because how I was acting, God really didn't just take it away. He put me on a journey. And that journey was really to lose everything, to really understand what it is to be married, have a family, have a business. And I know a lot of people have different opinion, but this is what I went through when I found out we lost everything, and I had to sit with my beautiful wife Holly. And we're at Ted's Montana Grill, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I remember I had every stoplight. We lived 10 minutes away. It felt like it was a half an hour away. And we sat, I asked for a room, be alone, and I know everybody. Everyone comes and talks to us. So I really had to tell everyone I need some time with my wife. In 3 hours, I had to tell her. And, at times I wish I'd rather, meet the IRS than talking about my wife. What I'm going to tell her is I basically said we lost everything: house, everything, money, everything. And after the 3 hour conversation of crying and manning up and having self awareness and like, dang, I put my family in a bad predicament. And you got to understand, as a father of two daughters, and watching your daughters pack up the rooms crying because they have no idea what's going on. You watch your wife, as a husband, you watch your wife pack up house that I bought for my family
Hmm.
and to lose it. And but the one thing what created all this, and after I talked to my wife and told her, there was two things she told me. I told you so. And that's because she didn't trust anyone. Number two is, what are we going to do about it?
I love it. What are we?
Yeah, it wasn't about me. I mean, I know I had friends, wives like, I would have buried you in the backyard, made you a new mulch bed. I have friends divorce each other because the
Yeah,
support wasn't really there. But the one thing what created Together We're Stronger is my daughters watched their parents, go through battle, meaning not with each other at times, but just to battle what we're going through as a family. And there's times, I guarantee you, my wife and I wanted to put up the white flag and say, enough is enough.
throw it
But
in.
our daughters, yeah, our daughter, especially my daughter Aubrey, who created Together We're Stronger, is tattooed over her heart. It's our family motto.
So that's where you got that
And
from. Together we are
yeah,
stronger. And now you have that on the
yes,
YouTube channel.
yes. And it really meant as when you're making money, everyone's your friend. And I was helping people out, blessing people with, and I'm very humble with that. But when you lose a large amount of money, your name is in the paper. And because I didn't do anything wrong, I just happened to be on the same walkway, the same path. He was my partner.
Hmm.
And to lose friends who broke bread, eat your crime rib, drink your whiskey, and all these things. And next you know, you're like, where did everyone go?
So are
And
they
that,
your friends with because of the money?
yeah, believe so. Friends, when you are very generous and you invite people and you do things and you host, a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people came, we just had a great time. But I thought it was because of me and what I done in the community or the chamber events or whatever, and what I have done for individuals. And and what's cool, and I'm gonna say this very humbly, my youngest daughter Danielle and I used to be. I was Santa Claus and she was my helper. And we would go deliver gifts to families that didn't have much, didn't have gifts for their children.
Hmm.
And it made sure that we gave, gift cards to the husband and wife. We did everything we can to support our community. But once I took a massive hit, no one, we lived in this 4,500 square foot home. And I have called people who I have helped moved or done something and say, hey, I can really, really use your help. I'm leaving voicemails. No one is calling me back. So we're
That's
moving out of
tough.
45. Oh God, yeah. Moving out of a 4,500 square foot home. You have your wife, your two daughters, my nephew, and one of my closest friend, John, who came and helped us move out of the house. We lost it all. And what's crazy, Jeff, is this. I asked my daughter several years ago how things are now. And I both asked them at the same time, what would you rather, lifestyle would you rather have? The lifestyle that we had money, things are great, or the lifestyle of learning lessons, going through tough times, and overcoming everything that's in front of you? And they both said, I swear it was like surround sound. Dad, we would take for learning the lessons. And that's my daughters are very successful. They're married, they have children, they have amazing son-in-laws, and
I
have
think the
great,
lessons
awesome. Yeah,
is
the
the way to
lessons
go
were huge. Yeah.
because if they had all that and they don't have the lessons, then the appreciation isn't there.
Hmm.
Perhaps maybe that's a lot. That's a deep story. And
Well,
yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say though, when you were saying when you guys were getting dinner, and then she said, "What are we gonna do about it?"
Hmm.
And it was together. She didn't. You know, I
You
can't
didn't.
imagine that how tough that would be.
Well, I'm telling you, that's why my friends call her Saint Holly. My family is because she has been with me for 35 years, and that's why our family's all about. I mean, she was the foundation of our family. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I might be the man of the house,
I
but
knew
I'm
you were gonna.
telling
I
you
could
right
tell
now,
too. When you said though how you were so to bring it up to tell her is
yeah,
you're a protector and provider. I can tell by that statement because
yes,
you're only going to share things with her that you need to with that concern.
yeah,
That
because
you know
that
what I
was
mean?
huge.
She doesn't need
Yeah,
to know about just protect, provide for that. Same with your kids, and then to bring yourself to those terms to go tell her that, and she
yes.
supported you 100% behind that. So that tells a lot about your character too. I can tell that how hard that must have been.
Oh, it was a tough time. We look back now, and the lessons have we learned, and definitely I have learned. Never test God. I tell you that right now. My wife will be on a show and she'll give her testimony of what we've gone through, because I want people to see of a woman's side of being married to a man who's an entrepreneur, and I don't have fear. I do not have fear, and that put a little bit of fear in me, but it never changed my personality. It made me think about things. The older I got, and realize that the decisions that you make back then will affect you right now. And we, as being an entrepreneur for over 40 plus years, you learn through different journeys what you've gone through. You learn losing money. And the one thing I'll tell you this is materialistic money. Ours house don't mean crap.
Nope.
It's that family, that foundation of, for me, my wife, who prayed over our children, prayed over me when I was struggling, and whew,
Helped you get you through it. It gave
she
you that
pulled me out.
support.
She pulled me out of the darkness.
Brought you into the light. She
Mm-hmm.
showed you the way out of the tunnel, the light.
Yeah,
You're in a cave.
I was in a bad spot mentally. Uh, I was in a cesspool. Why me? Why me? Why me? And I was blaming God. I was blaming everyone around me. And she's the one who put her hand down and grabbed me and pulled me out of that cesspool. Now, I needed to still be worked on. I had a lot of work to do, me personally, as a man, as a father, as a husband. But she is the foundation of who we are today. And it is so cool that we work together as a team. She'll tell you, Jeff, that when she's on stage, she'll say, "I'm raising three children," and I'm in the on the side thinking, three children. They had $2. I'm raising Aubrey, Danielle, and my husband George. And the whole crowd laughs because it's true. We're always talking about things, how to be stronger, how to be self-awareness of your own issues, learn from those, but
You
don't
guys
keep
make
going back on the same road.
sounds like you guys make a very good dual, like balance each
Mm-hmm.
other, and you both need each
Yes.
other to move forward. And
Yes.
that's where you guys are at today now because of that.
No.
And I want to hear, jumping on here and just meeting you, and thank you for sharing that deep story.
Whew.
And I want tell me now, like where you're at now, how things are, and you got a podcast, and you're sharing your story. You're going to
Yeah.
help others.
It's yeah. We go back before we started the podcast. I still needed to be worked on. I I still carried the torch, the grudge. I still am my partner Scott really mentored me and talked to me and really started reading more. I was like I knew everything. I didn't need to read anymore, right? I was the guy, my name. I wasn't mentor. My name was George freaking Devolis in the networking business because I knew how to group businesses. I knew how to talk, but I didn't know everything. And I had a mask on. So I talk about this all the time, Jeff. I'll ask people, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Pull the appearances away. What do you really see as a man, as a female of yourself? And some of the things that people have told me would crush your heart. What people think of themselves. Well, I was one of them. I had to pull out the mask, and I'm like, wow, I'm not all it cropped to be. I mean, I'm not that. I'm an ordinary guy. Um, and I need to start working on myself, having that self awareness, taking action, having that different mindset,
I like that you
and
said that, you working on yourself, looking
yeah,
inside.
being a student. I think a lot of
Yeah.
us, especially entrepreneurs, business owners, um, anything that leads companies, all we always got to be a student, and that's one thing I had to really, really have
Remember,
discipline on.
you
Oh,
do.
I
You got
had
to
to have
remember that.
discipline.
You
Yeah, I got to
we're
remember.
always a student.
Yeah, and so being that student,
The day you,
having
it's the day you think you know everything, and then something will humble you.
yeah, and more. I got humbled several times, but now, in 2025, I created an AI business. We're doing all these different things, insurance, all this stuff, and nothing was going, nothing was working. I would go to 24 networking events a month. That's a big personality. So you would know when I'm walking into the
I
room.
could
You
tell.
just
I can already tell.
yeah.
If I could feel it from
So
here, you got some big energy, man.
I have big. So my family would say, if we're going into a restaurant or into a some type of business, my personality is already in the building before I even get in it. It's just something that everyone I walk in and it's very humbling. It's cool, but really, to I look at it these days, the one that needs to get the spotlight on is my loving wife, Holly. I'm telling you, is when you have a great partner. She was never an entrepreneur. She's been a banker all her life.
She's inspired you to
Yeah, she
do what,
inspired me,
yeah.
yeah, to do better because the choices you make again in the past will affect your future. And here I am, 63, thinking, man, I thought I'd be in better shape. But you know what? More millionaires are created in the late 50s and 60s. And so there's hope, right? There's always hope, and it is great to have people, and I talk about, you'll see in a podcast, tribe, community. It's
Vibe
huge.
with your tribe.
You got it. It's huge to have people who are smarter than you. If you hang out with four dummies, guess
Yep.
who's going to be number five?
Hmm.
And when you have a community around you, you can share without anyone using leverage. As a man, let's talk as me. I never told anybody what I was going through because number one, leverage. Number two, people love talking about drama
Hmm.
and all that stuff. I hear it all the time.
And
But
when you're around that people, you don't know who to kind of talk about it with because of the things you're discussing right there.
the
So you're
trust
limited.
factor,
Now you're holding it
yeah,
in. But when you are with those people and you share, you feel better and they're helping you.
yeah. When you have a tribe, and that's when you're rich. My poor, my mother who passed away at a very young age was married to a gentleman named Bud, and he asked me, he was very well off. And he asked me, George, when you're rich? I'm like, yeah, man, the money in the bank, the cars, the boats, the sea-doos, all the stuff, right? I was in my 20s. He goes, no. I said, what is it then? He goes, no, when you're rich, when you count how many people on one hand who would be there for you, be at your wedding, pull you out of jail, drink with you, cry with you, help you out, whatever, and you vice versa for them. How many people do you have on your hands? And I'm like, yes, I'm counting, right? I am 63 years old and I have three people. And what Bud would tell me right now, I'm rich. Because when you are doing well and everyone's your friend, and my daughter, who was 13 years old, who's 29 now, I was in the back of the porch, and I'll be honest, I was in tears, because I just saw my whole life I worked so hard for it, just thought. And my daughter Danielle, who's 13, said, she said, Daddy, what's wrong with you? And I said, I'm telling about my friends. And she grabbed my shoulder and looked me dead in the eye. And this is what she said. They were never your friends.
Isn't that amazing
They
how
were,
kids are so intuitive?
yes. It's just like, I looked, she went back in the house and like, what's this woman? What's this young girl? But
Exactly.
those are the women that my wife raised. And of course, I was part of that raise, but while raising two girls, but they are successful because they have watched the parents go through things. And there's times as parents, you don't want to show what's going on behind the doors, right? They
Right.
knew what was happening. They knew that the shopping sprees disappeared. They knew that if it wasn't for my brother Nick, I lost everything. My brother Nick gave me money to move into a house. If not, I was going to live in two cars with my daughters and my wife. So I had nobody helping us. And that's why we created TWRS, is because together we're stronger. As I gone through this, I felt like I was on the island as a man. I had 1,000-pound boulder on my shoulder. No matter if I go work out or go run or play football, whatever, just to get my brain clear, I still have that 1,000-pound boulder. And when you have no one to talk to, and you never express without someone using against you, leverage, whatever you want to say, off drama. I kept it inside. And
Hmm.
so when Scott, I've known Scott for 10 years, and he basically said, George, time to pull off the mask. And like, what mask am I wearing? And I look in the mirror and I said, okay, I have no hair. Okay, I need to lose some weight. And he's like, no, you know that. You you talk about it. Why aren't you doing it to yourself? And it's pulling off the mask to pass the appearance to see who you really are. And that's when I found out in 2025, I said, you know what? It's time to change. It's time to throw in the towel and rebuild myself, have self awareness with the decisions I made, my mindset. And when we started the podcast, it was created by my family, but the conversations come from my journey. And not
Yeah,
everyone has a journey, right?
we
Everyone
do.
gone through different things in life.
We're all on the journey still.
Yeah, we still are. And here we are today. Podcast been open a little over 8 months, creeping on 120,000 views. Our subscribers, well, that's fine. Our hours are extremely high.
Let me ask you, so
Yeah,
the podcast, what is your hopes with it?
or reach out to individuals, individuals to be part of the community, to ask questions without anyone knowing, to find answers how they get themselves out of the cesspool, to build. Sometimes um, when we talk about ownership, but sometimes people shouldn't own a business. Some people have some great ideas. That's when you bring someone who can fulfill that dream of you, but run with it. You run together. That's your tribe. That's your community,
Yeah.
and you take it to the next level. So for us, we wanted to reach out to individuals, and we're very organic. We don't have a script. We just talk to people. We'll read about who this individual is, and we develop our own questions. And I mean, there's some that we stump. I'll even ask people at the end of the show, "What's your legacy you want to leave behind when the good Lord takes you home?" And a lot of them are teared up because no one asked those questions. When you're here on Earth, and you're doing everything you can, what does your legacy want to be? And remember, legacy is not about money. It's not about the house. It's not about the cars. It's not about the property. It's none of that. Legacy is truly, what did you leave behind? How many people have you helped? And be an entrepreneur? How many people get them out of taking their own life? I mean, all you take a look at all the categories of legal and legacy without taking all materialistic stuff out of the way. It's about truly helping people out. There's so much hate going on right now in our world. And I think there's a lot of times and for me being 6'3", I've never seen it so bad. But I think a lot of times people need to come out of their shell and really be out there to help people out. When I grew up, Jeff, even in Navy housing, everyone came. Remember block parties? All the neighbors would get
Yeah.
together, and the family play
Having
poker
some
or pinochle.
good
There's
times.
yeah, good times, right? Everyone got together. Remember going grocery shopping with my mom when we lived in the housing to help another family out and doing that stuff. These days, people get in their car in the garage, push it down, and not know their neighbor. And that neighbor could be struggling just to talk to somebody, just to find a solution. See, we're not here. We're not here to give you a solution. We're here to help you find your own solution
Exactly.
because you bring value to it, right? So
Yeah.
if I gave you a solution, what to do in your life, what's the old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't
Yep.
force him to drink.
Pete,
It's defeats the purpose.
I think it's would be cool, to help them find the puzzle pieces and then let them
Yeah,
connect them together to build their picture and
you
find the
got it.
solution within themselves. Yeah.
And so with the podcast, it's a stepping stone to uh, God. my wife and myself, we're all certified life coaches. I have, Scott is all about mindset. I'm all about how to get yourself out of the darkness. We are the beacon, we are the lighthouse that we want to create. So we started our life coaching. We're writing right now, we're writing our book, my wife and I. It is so cool. She's in her office talking and writing stuff down about her experience being married to an entrepreneur from 28 years old all the way to 65, and I'm doing the same. But it's talking about being that marriage couple and how do you overcome, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, and I think a lot of women get lost how to deal, even men too. And when the women's entrepreneur and you're stay-at-home dad, and you become lost. And I would tell my wife, and I'm telling you honestly, I would say, you worked the corporate world for 32 years. I've been an entrepreneur. And
Yeah.
boy, you want to talk about a war. I mean, it was like, really, Devolis? You're going to go. When she called my last name, I
Yeah.
know I'm in trouble. And you can hear the girls upstairs, Dad's in
Uh-oh.
trouble. And it's because I thought I knew it all, Jeff. I
Yeah.
thought I knew everything. And I'm the one who made the decisions that were very poor, bad on my half. But I want to teach people it's okay to make decisions, but you have to. My brother said this to me a couple weeks ago. You're the only guy I know. You're my brother. You're the oldest. But I've never seen anyone go into darkness and come out just as strong. And I remember Holly pulling you out because I was in deep. I thought I was a loser. I thought I was this. And my brother was saying, you're the only one I know that comes out because you're not taking that as your final word. You're going to step forward. Your goal saying is tighten up the bootstraps, the chin strap, keep
Yeah.
marching, and that's who I am.
What you said kind of takes me back to what you said when you asked your daughters and they said they'd rather take the lessons.
Yeah.
And so with you, explain that you were in this darkness, in this place, and your wife helped you find the light. Now
Yeah.
with that, if you went down to that level or you've been in there, there's other people that
Hmm.
sounds like you can help them and relate with them.
Hmm.
So with you being
Yes.
there, now you can relate with other people
Yeah.
that may feel in that area, and you can help them and explain to them and how you got out of it and help them.
Yep.
That's what you're so
Yes.
that's I see that, and that's really something. Your YouTube channel is really deep now.
Yeah. And it just thank you.
Yeah.
But it's it man, I it's so hard for me. The feelings I have is that us men, because again, we're talking is it's we got this 1,000 pound weight on us, and
A
we
lot
don't
of
want to
pressure
share
on
with
men
anybody.
today.
Oh
I
yeah, a
I
lot of
think,
pressure, right?
Yeah.
And if we can be the beacon, Scott and I, for our channel, or Holly and I can do with a couple or
But also
individuals.
couples. It's not only men,
Yeah,
it's couples. It's
there's
it's
couples.
women too, it's both
Yeah,
men and women that
that's.
that have a lot of pressure right now. And I think that is showing that there's such a and you also mentioned the big like there's just such a divide going on and people can see that
Mhm.
and feel it in this world today. So
Yep.
men and women too, right? The nuclear family, all this stuff. And it's just
Hmm.
something inside of us is saying, hey, something's going on.
Yep.
And I think that shows that how important men and women need to be together and how they balance each other
Yeah.
out and are such a powerful, beautiful force when they are together.
Yes.
And I'm not just saying this, but like you're an example. You guys are an example from the story. I mean, this is
Thank you.
it's great. I
Yeah, it's a
totally get it.
blessing.
Yeah.
It's a God thing right now, brother. It's because when I brought it up to Holly, I talked to my buddy Brett, who does a lot for us and does like a dream vision type of deal. And he's like, I think Holly needs to be involved. So when I talked to my wife, she like, my wife's like, okay, and but really wasn't in tune to it yet. And then She came out of the came downstairs. She's like, "I'm in." I'm like, it's like several days after. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll take her in." But she wanted to make sure that I didn't stop what I was doing. God spoke to her and said, "Do it." When she came out of the shower, got dressed, did everything she needed to do, came down, said, "Let's do this." And I have never seen my wife say, "Let's do this," meaning
Hmm.
on a business decision. It wasn't a networking business, it's the one I created. And she's like, "Let's do this. We can help people out." And I'm like, "Wow, who are you?" I was like, "Oh my," I got the chills, and really, it broke me down. It's like, wow, my wife sees the information, because it's not that we read all these books on my shelf over here, is that we've gone through so many different journeys. And what's crazy, Jeff, is people like, "How's your family so solid and you've gone through so much?" I say, "You see that 5'5" woman? That's the foundation of our family. Just because I'm 6'5", my 5'5" wife is the one who makes things happen. And what I mean by that, she allows me to do my decisions. If I want to go out and buy $2,000 worth of golf clubs, she knows that I can go do that. And it's not about I don't trust you. Is that on business decisions we need to talk about it. On something that you would like to have or you want, no, you're not going to buy $100,000 truck right now. We're not. We're not in that situation.
Don't need one.
No,
Hundred thousand
right?
dollar
But
truck.
no. But the point is that I know where we have that relationship, that we trust each other, and to see what we've gone through allows us to tell individuals you're not alone. And when you're not alone, you feel like you can conquer the world. Is that when you're by yourself, you can, your mind plays games.
Yeah,
And
when you're by
that's the,
yourself, if you have
yeah.
that inspiration of a woman behind you,
Well,
pushing you,
no,
you're an
yeah,
example.
yeah. And if even if you're single
Yeah.
and you have friends that inspire you, that give you solid advice, be there for you. Remember the tribe, the community.
Yeah, in friends, absolutely.
Yep.
You need the
Yes.
support, but you want to be
Yeah.
on with your tribe to
Yeah.
resonate
You
with your
want
vibe,
to.
right? So you keep
Yep.
going up because if you like you said, if you're hanging out with the four people that are maybe not with what you're trying to do, you're the fifth. So
Yeah.
you
It's
want to be
just
by the four people you want to be like, you know.
I I I go
But then
old
again, it's
school.
good because you can
Yeah.
relate and help the other people because you've been there and you've been in
Hmm.
the places that you're describing.
Yeah. I mean, you can pick up a book and read it and know it from front to back. That's awesome. But when you have your own life experiences and you can say, "I've been there. I've been in that darkness. I've been there when I've been through certain things." A lot of people like, "How did you survive?" And I never said anything, but to you, on camera, it's basically, I was homeless in high school, and living that type of lifestyle, then going through my 20s, owning a business, getting married, having kids, losing X amount, then and lose it again, because I'm I'm one of those guys who okay, takes chances, do homework, but sometimes people are so good at lying, you start believing them, and it's a scam, let's just say. So
That's why
we have
truth.
learned, yeah, and you learn. So everything that we do now, everything that I do now in business, I have control of. Meaning that the podcast, the life coach, everything else, I don't put in someone else's hands, because then if I fail, it's because of me. It wasn't I'm down the street.
Hmm.
And so Scott and I really, we always talk every day what we're doing for the podcast. I talk to my wife. course every day. I see her every day, and we started creating stuff. So doing the life coach, creating our book,
Sounds like it's
and
fulfilling. It's fulfilling a
yes,
purpose within you. So it's filling those voids now doing something when you're living in truth and with your alignment.
yes, it is fulfilling. That is the word, my friend. It is so fulfilling, and to really sit back and I'll sit in my studio and just I won't even turn anything on. I'll just think about what's going on and what's God's doing, the favor of bringing things up, of yes, the horrible things I've been through, but now I can help people so they don't feel alone. They can change their mindset. They can have clarity and have vision what they want to do. And not, I've seen so many people have great ideas. I think USA Today come out 15 years ago. And this is a question for you. What is the richest land in the world?
The richest land in the world,
Land
the
in the world.
one with right now probably that has a lot of oil.
Cemeteries.
Oh, oh yes.
People who have passed away with ideas and never had a shot of sharing them.
Mm-hmm.
They've got buried with them.
Mm-hmm.
People who cured cancer, MS, all types of diseases, new technology, all that stuff got buried, right? And why I say that is the richest land. If you have an idea, you get with people that have the same vision or they trust and believe in you, that's that tribe. And maybe you're not the biggest business person, but you got a buddy who is, and then you creep. I seen people that have great ideas and come to fruition because they brought people around them. And to this day, these three gentlemen are multi millionaires because of a friend who doesn't like to be on camera, doesn't even like to speak that much, in public, had an idea, and he had two other friends that grabbed him. That's how powerful a community is. Your tribe, now or your family.
Yeah. And family and your tribe. I believe God, family, tribe,
Yes,
friends, and with I remember you were saying that when your wife came to you and she said, let's do it. And you're like, what? Like it. So
I
that
grew up.
was, and you mentioned too with your friends, because if you have a puzzle piece and they have the other piece and you guys can come together, right? And make something really cool, you don't
Yeah.
know what it can turn into. Like you guys are both complementing off each other, or it's like
Hmm.
a well-oiled machine, and you guys are now making a business. And it kind of
Yes.
takes me back to recently something I heard. I don't know if you're familiar with the band The White Stripes. They're one of my favorite bands. You know who they are for sure. And your Carhartt shirt, there's a Carhartt from a nice big store in Detroit. But the White Stripes are
Okay.
from Detroit,
All
and
right.
huge rock and roll band.
Sweet.
You know what they sing that song, boom, 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 boom,
Oh
boom.
yeah,
I'll sing
yeah,
in arenas
yeah.
now.
They'll.
Simple, boom, boom, boom. That simple drum beat. So Meg White, which at the time they got married and they became,
Yeah.
they're Jack White and Meg White. Well, Jack White was an amazing musician, guitar player, and everything. And his wife, there was an old drum set in the attic, and she was real quiet. She never really played much. And she one day asked him, "Hey, let's play a song together." And she'll play the drum set. He's like, from what I heard, I know I was just hearing the story, that he
Yeah.
kind of was like, "Really? Oh, okay." And he like went right away and said, and they played a simple song right there, and they turned into a huge band. And just from
Massive.
that story
Yeah.
of her asking him, "Hey, let's do a
Mhm.
song together," and there was an old drum set in their attic that he grabbed, and she started playing it, and they, started the White
There they are. There
Stripes.
they are.
There
Yeah.
they
And
are.
then,
They
yeah.
awesome band. They're just a dual band, and then they did the persona of brother and sister, and they're husband and wife.
Yeah. See, that
Huge band, and
is.
now they're playing that song in arenas and everything,
Oh yeah.
everywhere.
I hear it everywhere,
He
right? You
just
go to a
did
hockey game,
yeah,
football game.
Jack White and Eminem just did at Ford Field on Thanksgiving for the Detroit Lions halftime
Yes.
show.
Yes. Yes.
That was an
Now
awesome
I know.
show.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
do?
that
Yeah.
was
So,
okay. Yeah, I love the
yeah.
Detroit Lions. I mean, I'm a big Bronco fan, but I always, I'm a Detroit fan. I don't know why. I think when I used to watch them when Barry Sanders was
Barry
in the
Sanders, yeah.
backfield. Yes, and I'm just telling you, they got a good team. They got a phenomenal team. They just need to get edge
Yeah, I
just
try
a
to
little
watch
bit.
some sports here and there. I like baseball. I
Yeah.
miss the old Tiger Stadium. I can't believe it's already been like 25 years, 26 years, Comerica Park now, our
Yes.
new baseball
Yeah.
field. And so yeah, I live around that area now. I'm in Metro
That's
Detroit.
so cool.
And it's on your Facebook profile it says San Pedro, California. So
Yeah.
you living out there? Is that where you're from?
Well, I'm from San Pedro. I mean, my brothers will tell you differently. I was born and raised in Carmel Valley, or Carmel in Monterey, Northern California. And then I put San Pedro because my whole family's there. My mom is buried there. My brothers live there. And, I'm in Colorado, you know, in the Greeley area. I lived in Colorado Springs for about 24 years. That's where I raised our daughters. I came here, I sold the business that I owned in Palm Springs, California, and rented a motorhome for 3 weeks.
I love
And
it.
my youngest daughter Danielle was 6 months. Aubrey was, I believe, 4 years old, and we moved out here in '97, and we're still out here. And I just seen my family. I wanted to give them the better life, in a sense. Not California's not bad, but Colorado's more set back, and the kids did phenomenal in school. Meaning, my oldest daughter was more like me, creative. She was like 2.0, good to go, and GP. My other daughter's like 4.0. Aubrey is was like a top rated makeup artist in the United States. She worked at a lot of
Wow.
brands. Yeah, never went to school for it. That's how creative she is. And then our youngest daughter, Danielle, has two double masters. She has two master degrees at
Wow.
29, married and kids. And so when people like, I don't have time. I look at my daughters worked. One daughter was on the red carpet, other daughter was school. My youngest daughter got married first, went to school, was pregnant, and school again, pregnant, and to just see our two beautiful daughters explode, have two amazing son-in-laws and grandchildren. They all have characters. And
Yeah.
somehow my oldest grandson blames everything on me. And because I have vertigo, I really haven't left the house, Jeff.
Hmm.
So my son-in-law Daniel said, "Hey, who'd you learn that from? Where'd you get that from, Papa?" Well, he Papa, 2 weeks. What are you talking about? And I'm the scapegoat. And it's just cool to see my family grow. It's cool to see that my family is so huge in what we do now. The podcast, they're so excited about the coaching. They they were so surprised that my wife's like, "Yeah, I'm in. Let's do this." And my
Yeah.
daughter's like, "Who are you?" But as you sit and you go through the history of our marriage, and you've gone through the history of the journeys we came in, God is the center of our life. But our daughters got to watch, and they're like, "Man, we can't wait to be on now, Dad." Because when I started, I didn't want to bring the family on now. I didn't need to take pot hits. Why did TWRS started? And then I have my daughters on there, my wife. Boy, it would be a bad day for George. But it was also it's a way that you reflect and
Hmm.
say, wow, the decisions that you make have big time. It can be good or bad, but when the family reflects on things, and we all have learned, we're all students, right? I was
We
the
are.
last one to be a student. I really was. And everyone knows I'm pretty much black and white, but I was the last one to accept that I'm always a student.
Well,
And
we're all students in the same classroom here, and sometimes students help each other out, you know? Like,
And
hey, if I'm
yes,
drawing a picture and I need, some crayons or
yeah,
something, and you got the certain colors that I could use, you
heck
share them
yeah,
with me.
I'm was always helping people out. I love it. People are like, hey, George, I got something for you. I have a hard time receiving something. I'd
I
rather
do too
give than
sometimes. Yeah.
for Christmas, my family would go out buy
You
the
know,
gifts, and
yeah.
I'm the last one to open because
I,
I'm in. It's something that
I sometimes too have a hard time accepting, but
pass.
then I realize sometimes people try to give you something, right? Because it makes them feel good. Like you said, you're a giver.
Yeah,
You like to give stuff, right? So when
yeah,
you, let's say, you want to get someone something or a nice gift, and then they're like, oh, I don't know, because they're having a hard time accepting it. But you're like, no, I want you to have this. It makes me feel good. And I want to give this to you. It's a
yeah,
win-win situation. Take this, please. And then, so it
yes,
makes you feel good too. And if that person knew that, then they would happily accept that gift, right? So maybe that's how
yeah.
you should be as well, George. If someone gives you a gift,
I
you
just
gotta proudly,
yeah.
smile. And I'm telling you this because I gotta get used to doing it myself. Just thank you.
I
Even
do.
compliments, things like that. I have a hard time getting compliments. I'm like, come on.
I get embarrassed.
Yeah.
I get embarrassed, and so funny is seeing someone compliment you or ask you, and you're one out of 5,000, 15,000 people in the stadium, and your name pops up, and they ask you to stand, and I'm standing. You can't miss me.
Uh,
And next thing you know, they actually come on stage, and for me, it's so cool.
yeah.
But I remember when my wife and I were in a network marketing company. It was a travel company, and they're no longer around because of COVID. But I remember when we took stage, we had like 3 minutes to speak. I had 30 seconds. My wife took the mic and talked for like 2 minutes, 30 seconds or so. To this day, we still laugh about that because I'm the one usually taking the mic. I'm the one talking telling jokes, or teasing my family, or in good fun. And it is to see my wife um, be on the stage with 15,000 people, and seeing what she has created and what we have done together. And that's the thing. We've been life coaches ever since I was in my late 20s all the way till I'm 63. And it's always trying to help people become better. Then I had to realize that I need to be better. I can tell you my stories. I can give you all kinds of information.
Well, you mentioned about helping people and trying to
Mhm.
do that, and sometimes at the same times, it also helps you. Like find yourself in the service of others too. You find yourself helping others. So, you're trying to do that, and I think at the same time it's helping you. So when you find those people in your tribe, you're working together and you're stronger
Yes.
together. I get the
Yes.
YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
that's
See, that's
yeah.
it's something that, yeah, you work together, you're strong together. But I'll say this to your audience: you need to you need to own it. You need to own of everything, good and bad. You need to have self awareness of yourself, because if you don't, it will lead into things that you wish you never done. And you need to own everything that you do, decisions that you
Yes.
make. And
Yeah.
I say that to everyone because I didn't. I didn't own it. I would have a good excuse, but I didn't own it as a person. I didn't own it as a man. I didn't own it as an entrepreneur. I didn't own it. I try, well, this didn't go through all because of this person. And I now sit back. I should have owned it, regardless of the situation.
Hmm.
That um, people are more understanding when you have own it. I made the mistake,
It's deep.
regardless who actually made the mistake,
Right.
because if you don't own it yourself, you brush it off. It's like next, and I done that, and for me, I learned that's being a student,
Yeah.
and really. start reading. I got into, and I'm going to say this, I got into the Bible more. I listened to more Christian music. Yes, I lived in the era of the best music in the world. It was the 80s. And I'll say that. But I really get down into how do I get myself better so I can be a shining light to someone else, not to follow my footsteps, but for me to help find a solution. As my wife said, and my wife will do the same. And that's why we're writing a book together. And my wife is already an author already because she wrote finished her first book is getting published, for children's. And it's I can't tell the deal, but I'm just saying it's cool to see accomplishments done. Remember, Jeff, what I said earlier, just get 1% better every day. 1% better. That means you're moving forward, even if it's baby steps. Always celebrate the small wins because the small wins become big wins. And no matter what you do in life, make sure you look yourself in the mirror and you look toward yourself and make sure you don't doubt yourself. Remember, the strongest muscle in your body is your tongue. What you say is embedded. It's like, your brain is embedded that information. So if you call yourself a loser, this or anything negative, that's what you're speaking to yourself. And that's something I tell everyone to stop because you really need to focus on the capabilities you have. And I think a lot of times people overlook that. I don't mean to go deep, but
No, I get it. The
that's
tongue is so powerful,
yeah,
just like the on the ship. Just a
yep,
little,
yep. Because
wheel on the
you
ship, or it controls the whole ship, and it's so
everything.
small.
And it is so small. Your tongue, you can't hit rewind. You say something to one of your buddies that is devastating, you can't rewind that. You cannot erase it, no matter how much you are sorry for saying it. You know it every time you look at that individual, you remember what you said. You don't erase it.
Mm.
And you got to watch what you say to people and to be true. If you say something to someone, make sure it's educational. Hey, this is what you've done. But I think a lot of times people in the corporate world, as managers and store managers and system managers, any type of power, need to go through coaching of what truly helping people out. Because you don't want to just hire someone, then fire them, then you got to rehire someone, train them again, and this revolving door is to really be there for individuals. And as an entrepreneur, having team in your business who knows everything about you, you uplift them. You help them rise. I talked to a guy who builds Chick-fil-A's all over the United States. And the one thing he told me, he blesses all his employees, the ones who want to do business on their own. And this guy was incredible. He will help them launch their own business in construction because he wants to see people have success. How many owners really say that?
Not
How
many.
many owners? Not many, right? You hold them, they're mine, right?
He's finding those people and reaching down and trying to lift them up as he's moving up. He's pulling them up as
Yes,
well.
that's correct. So as entrepreneur leaders, founders, whatever you want to say, who you are, remember how your business runs is because of the people that are your team. I had my mom who was an entrepreneur after all the years said, George, never forget who pays your bills. And it took me, I was young, I was in my 20s. It took me 6 months to figure it out. I know stupid question, but to be fair, I figured out is when I have my feet on the desk and I'm watching people through the window coming into my business. It's the individuals that walk in and spend money with you. It's not the money in your bank because who pays your truck payment? The people walking through the door. Just because it comes out of your checking account doesn't mean that you earned it. No, people walking through the door. And I think a lot of times business owners miss that conception how people need to start relying on people and not holding back and let people grow. Because you can have a diamond in the rough, you just don't know. Next, you know, you fire him, he goes somewhere else. And next, you know, he owns a business that's blowing yours out of the water. It's just, I see it all the time. And it's not for me to go off a tangent. It's for me to realize people need to really open their eyes to see how business is done. I'm not the smartest person on in the block, but I have gone through different journeys that allows me to share what I have seen through my own eyes. It's not reading the book, it's experiences. My best business I ever owned out of the 40 plus years was Palm Desert Upholstery. My first company at 19 years old, doing upholstery shop. No, I don't know how to sew.
So, you know
Yeah,
something that we're I like there's pieces that come together throughout what we've been talking about and stuff, and you did upholstery. So Jack White, we were talking about him, right?
yeah,
So he did upholstery before he moved the furniture aside and plays music, and then he started
so
the band
cool.
and came together. And that's funny. It's ironic, you know. We are talking about him earlier, the businesses and people come together like that,
Yeah.
you know. And you did the same thing. I just find that funny because we brought it up earlier. Together we're
Yeah,
stronger. Together we're
together
stronger,
we're
you know.
stronger. And I believed in that ever since I owned a business. And my number one guy in my shop is now retired because he took over the business, gave him the name. I sold it. They didn't want the name, they want the clients, gave him the name. And
Yeah,
Frank is now in Chapala Lake, Mexico. His son now is running the business. It's generational. And
yeah.
upholstery business is not like it used to be, brother. It's it's a
Lost
lost
cause.
trade. Yep, it's a lost trade. So, but yeah,
It's good. It'd be good to know though.
mhm.
You know what I
I
mean? To
just
know how to
talk.
do that
Yeah,
stuff. And
heck
even
yeah,
just a lot of those old trades, it's important to know that stuff. Everything, like just the basics that you know, like technology's advancing so much, but when you go back to just the roots, like
basic trade.
mechanics,
Yeah,
you know,
electrician, plumbers.
HVACs, electric, all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a trade that's I wouldn't say it's
Carpentry,
dying.
drywall,
People, because when I
just
went to
painting.
school, oh yeah, when I went to school, I had automotive, welding, electrical, right, wood shop, right.
I liked
Yeah,
wood
schools
shop.
these
Yeah.
days. Yeah, wood shop was a blast.
I just, you know, I didn't know how to do much stuff. I just like make circles.
Oh, I mean, I got involved in that stuff, but automobile, I didn't like my hands all dirty and grease underneath the nails. But it was cool to bring your car in, bring the oil, and they change your oil and everything as part of their
Deal.
credit. Yeah, their deal.
Credit
But
appreciation for the
yes,
customers that
and
did more. Yeah, where was I? I was up in northern Michigan. I was getting some gas not too long ago, and the people came out and were like, "How much you want?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What?" Like, yeah, we get the gas for you here. I'm like, I only saw this like in old
I've seen that.
movies.
That's what I
There
done.
was a, and then
Work
someone
for
pulled up and rang a bell, and they came out. As I was like, "No, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. This is weird."
no, no,
Just goes
oh yeah,
back to letting them remember you have a hard time accepting stuff. Me too.
yeah,
Like, I
oh
can get it,
yeah,
brother. It's cool. Let me get it. I can pump my own gas. It's cool. So he goes back inside, and another lady pulls up. Is like, ding, 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 ring a bell.
yeah, yeah. It has a system, a little rubber tube that rings the bell on. I worked at Union 76 and Shell Station
Yeah.
as I was in high school. And full source, you check the window washer, you check the oil,
Yup.
and they give you a tip, you fill up the gas. But yeah, that back then, so that's lost trades. What I'm saying is people don't realize how important those trades were, how important they are now, because if you find a good electrician, you need to keep them. I mean, or a plumber or an
You
HVAC person.
yeah, and it's so important. It also goes back to being true and integrity because people look
Yeah.
for that in recommendations. And you
Hmm.
want to work with someone who's going to come into your house and fix these things because there's so many different businesses now and people don't really know who to work with and a lot of his recommendations and you build it up.
Yes.
So it goes back to that being true to yourself, I think, because people can feel it.
Oh yeah.
You're living in
And
alignment.
you gotta have passion.
Passion.
You gotta have passion in what you do. And you just brought some realignment. I think a lot of people have to have realignment
Got to
with
need
their
someone
spouse.
tuning, just like your vehicle.
Oh,
You take it to
yeah.
the mechanic for a tune up.
I'm
Our
still in
vehicles,
tune up.
man, got to get in a line. You need an alignment sometimes.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I've been in alignment for a while. But it's really cool to sit back to be the student and understanding. And then when people like, damn, George, you changed. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, you're still crazy. But the way you speak, the way that you are very passionate when you speak, and the way you carry yourself, and man, the mindset is completely different. And I'm thinking, really? Because I've been working on myself. And when someone notices it, I notice some of it, but when someone that looks at you and sees a difference in you, then you know you're on the right path because they
Mm.
see the difference that it's in a good way to be there for others. Because I have friends that call me, "Hey George, I'm struggling. What are you struggling with, man?" And they would tell me and talk to me, and I would sit and talk to them, and like, "Hey man, that was awesome. No one has given that information, whatever the situation is." But I get in that mode when I'm talking to them. In the back of my brain, I'm thinking about what they're talking about, and then it clicks, and then I think this is what you need to do. You know, well, I don't like my job. That's okay. It pays the bills, right? Yeah. So when you need to come with a different look when you go to work. A be proud of what you do, right? Not everyone can be in the position that you're in. It takes years for people to be in that position. But sometimes you got to have reflection of what you have done and why you're so bored. Is maybe it's not the business, it might be you, in the sense of that you're not educating yourself when you're home on your days off. You're not productive when you're home on your days off. You're not doing things that you want to do. You're not playing paddle tennis anymore. You're not reading books anymore. You drop school, whatever the situation is sometimes the biggest problem is not your job, it's you. And it's because, well, I just want to relax. That's fine. We're good to relax. But also when you relax, what happens? You start thinking, doubting, start creating this negative mindset about the surroundings. What happened at work, what someone say, whatever the situation is that you got to move on. You got to leave it be. You got to be, how many people out there right now are, pushing out 100 applications for jobs. I know $40 an hour, and to a lot of people's eyes, that's sometimes two people are making 20 each, you know.
Mhm.
Um, you got to really change your mindset. And it's all about a mindset change. You got
Mindset,
to
renewal
realize,
of the
yeah,
mind.
you got to realign who you are, you know, go back to church, get in the word, you know, if you're holding on, talk to your family, you know, you know, um, mend. Don't put
Forgiveness,
a
though,
band-aid.
you
Yeah,
mentioned,
forgiveness.
you got to remember,
Don't
yeah.
throw a band-aid on it because it's still gonna fester. Still rip the band-aid off, realize what you gotta do and do it. Because at the end of the day, you gotta sit back and say, man, today was a good day. I made up with my daughter. I made up with my best friend. I sent my wife something sweet because, I haven't been super nice. I've been, mean, or whatever the word is. Whatever
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
thought process is to really sit back and realize I could do better. And when you start doing better, you can overcome things that are thrown at you. You can move forward no matter what's getting thrown at you. Just remember the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. And why is that, Jeff? Why is the windshield bigger than the rearview mirror?
This is the minute you said that, it got me thinking. And I mean, because you're moving forward, right?
Mhm.
So the windshield is going to be bigger. You're driving forward, so you want to
Yeah,
you
that's
have
yeah,
more of a
simple.
view,
Yes. Mhm.
right? So the rear view mirror, why it's smaller, you know?
Mm. You know why? See, in the front of a car, you get to look at 180 degrees.
Right. You have a lot to look at.
Right? Yeah. Rear mirror sits here. Your rear mirror is your past.
Right.
So when you see your wife waving at you, the farther you go, you don't see her anymore. And that's why the rear view is smaller, because people who carry their past, people who look at problems, people that doubt themselves because of, back in the day, that's why the rear view is smaller. Because when you're driving and you're moving forward, all the drama, all the talk, all the stuff is in the past. The farther you drive away, the farther you move forward, the past gets to sit back there, and it's the past. People love bringing the past back up. There's two different ways you bring your past back up. That makes you get up every day, it pushes you forward, or you sit there and you're in the cesspool and you're pouting, for me, why me, this and that. And that's why I use that analogy, is that the farther you go away from your past, the less you're going to see it. And the whole front of your windshield is the new future. It's everything that you want to do. Why would you let the backside of the rear mirror creep on you? And it's just something that I look. If you see a stop sign, you keep going. That stop sign is no longer in your view. And it's the same thing as life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's why I use that all the time, because I use it on myself.
Yeah, I sometimes like to say to myself, I'm throwing it in the rear view mirror. You know,
Mhm,
put it in the rear view mirror and putting it behind me.
mhm. You have to, because you can't move forward if you don't.
Hmm.
I'm just telling you, I'm telling you from experience, you can carry all the luggage and you keep moving forward, but you're not really moving forward. You think you're moving forward, but you're not.
Yeah.
You have to drop off the baggage, the drama, the hate, whatever's inside you, got to drop it off. That's how you move forward. That's how you become a new you.
It's deep.
Yeah, very deep. And I have amazing family around me. I have amazing friends who know the situation I ever been, and know that I'm moving forward. And it. I don't stop. I reflect. All right, what can I have done better? Okay, now I know what I need to do. And that's why you write yourself a journal. What's your day look like?
I got to start doing that or writing stuff down. I've been starting to.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, I've been an entrepreneur 40 plus years. Just 2 years ago. So it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late to move forward. It's never too late to drop the baggage and to move on, because you know how it is. People love drama. People will tell 15 people things you've done wrong and maybe tell two what you've done right. And
Right.
um, and you see it on TV these days, all the drama, the
Yeah.
everyone talking bad about everybody. And it's like,
Yeah.
why would you throw a brick from a glass roof?
Hmm.
Why? And I use glass house. Why would you throw a brick when it's coming from a glass house you live in? Because you know that brick comes back, it's going to hit your house, and everyone's going to know your shit. Everyone's going to know who you are. So I rather be upfront. Hey, this is what I've gone through. People ask me black and white questions. Yeah, I made mistakes, and yeah, and that's who you have to be if you want to move on and you want to help people. If you just want to sit in your house and not do anything, that's fine. But for me, at 63, I want to leave a legacy. How many people can I help move out of the darkness into the light?
Hmm.
And if by the grace of God, um, by the Lord speaking through Holly and I, he gave me ideas what to do, what to create. to create an amazing coaching business that we can launch on. Yes, am I nervous? Yeah. I'm gonna have to do a couple dress rehearsals with a couple other coaches and friends of mine. And that means, I'll do like I have an audience or on let's call it Zoom and do a rehearsal, Holly and I speaking. And yeah, and it'll be an interview process. We want to make sure you're a right fit for us and we're the right fit for you. And yeah, there's homework,
Exactly.
there's yeah, questionnaires. I mean, you gotta, being a believer is huge, you know, but not everyone, there's good people who have no idea what's going on. And I just think it open up to whoever can help because you never know who you can lead to the Lord.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's man, there's
So you
so
got
much, so
following
much more.
biblical teachings,
Mhm.
having the Lord lead, and
Yes.
you're helping people find the light.
Yep. I'm telling you, that's why I got choked up. My wife and I have another coach said the same thing. A good friend of mine who's a national speaker, spoke all over the world, said the same thing.
Yeah.
We have the basing, not the basically almost the same story.
Yeah.
And his wife grabbed him and pulled him out of the darkness into light. And I
Yeah.
use that because it's the God honest truth what Holly did for me. And she didn't give up on me. She did not give up on me. And, I hats off to my beautiful wife.
Thanks for sharing your story
Oh, thank you for having me. I mean,
and what you're
I
doing.
got so much. Oh man, I'm excited, and I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited to watch you grow and what God is leading you into, and it's just so cool to bring you on the podcast to maybe do a round table, have conversations about stuff, what men go through, and have a couple women on there and have women on there
Yeah.
to what they go through, and just be a community of a light, a beacon,
Exactly.
and yeah, I'm just blessed, bro, and I'm so blessed because you reached out to me and to be on your podcast. I
I
am
feel the
very
same way.
honored and humbled. Thank you.
It's mutual.